Glad to have you back, and if you're just joining us, well, we are coming to you live from our election studio right here in Lagos, where Nigeria decides and we do some hard talk. Now, after the recently concluded presidential election, all eyes have been on INEC and the electoral bodies, assuring all stakeholders that it is well prepared for the elections this time around, coming up Saturday, barely 48 hours. Joining us to discuss really how prepared INEC is, we have Martin Slumber, a political analyst who's been in the studio for quite a while. Thank you very much for still staying back.
Pleasure.
And we also have Dipo Olayoku, a journalist as well. Thank you very much for joining us.
Yes, a pleasure. Listeners.
Good to have you join us. Let's start with you, Mr. Dipo, because you just joined us. INEC told us before the 23rd, which was supposed to be the week before 23rd, that we would go on the 16th, that they were fully prepared. Even until the 10th hour, INEC assured us that they were prepared. And then at 2:45 a.m., INEC announced this to the whole world, that the elections had been cancelled for logistics reasons. 1 week later, we have an election, and we still see glaringly that logistics is a problem. We see INEC officials, walking in to polling units very late. I think Governor Ambode went to his polling units and didn't see anybody, had to go home. There's so many logistic problems that showed up. But INEC is telling us now again that they are very prepared. Should we take it with a pinch of salt?
No, I think what makes a human being look into the future is when you become optimistic about today. We shouldn't be disappointed, really, in that context. Because the problem we have in this country is we always run away from the truth. By Wednesday of that preceding that February 16th, I think whoever believed that elections will hold on the 16th must be deceiving himself. As a matter of fact, by 14th of Thursday in the evening, a friend called me from Abuja and told me that, people, forget it. Election will not hold on the 16th. INEC knew the problems they had, but they didn't have the guts to face the nation, to tell the nation that elections will not hold. That was why the meeting they were holding on the eve of the election was against the backdrop of what they have.
It wasn't even the eve, it was the election day, at dawn of the election.
No, the meeting started around 11 on Friday.
Okay.
Yes. That should we go ahead with all these things we have discovered? Because there was no way the election will hold in all the 30 states of the Federation. So the problem is, what do we do? Do we go ahead? There will be backlash if we say we're not going ahead. But there will be greater danger if you go ahead, especially because of the way Nigeria politics is configured. Mostly hit, as at that February 15th, was the southeastern states. How do we explain to a nation that election will go ahead in some states, while bulk of the southeastern states, elections will hold? So that is the predicament that was facing INEC. Well, I think that one is history now. I think what we need to do is, how do we move ahead? How do we build on the rubbles of February 16? I remember vividly in 2011, the first general election that the immediate past chairman of INEC, Professor Atahiru Jega, was to hold, was the 2011 general elections. And interestingly, as a journalist, for a very long time I had not voted. But because it's that you are in the field covering, or you are in the newsroom receiving reports, or you are in the studio analyzing. I said I was going to vote on that in that 2011 election. Like where I was to vote, we were already at the venue, at the polling unit. The youth corpers were there, the hardcore staff, voters were there. All of a sudden, we were waiting for the materials. All of a sudden, one guy just came around 9 o'clock in the morning. I said, what are you guys doing here? That he had just watched Atahiru
Jega.
Now, this election you guys are waiting for has been postponed. We went home. And eventually, Atahiru Jega gave us an election that was acceptable to some extent, despite the initial hitch, because the election was coming immediately after the 2007 election, that the then president described as a do-or-die election, that the international community rated as the worst in the history of human being. It was even worse than Somalia, where they were having war. So Atahiru Jega was able to give us election in 2011. And he went ahead to give us 2015 that said what people believe was close to the option A4 that we had. So I think what we are saying in essence is that, we thank God because immediately the announcement was made that AM of, the last election.
Yeah, 16.
The morale of Nigerians were at that point that, oh, they have come again because there's no trust in government and government agencies. That is just unfortunate. But by the time the INEC chairman held a stakeholders meeting where INEC came out, instead of condemnation, people had sympathy.
Yes, but all of those day-to-day analysis or stakeholder meetings, we still expected better. But it still did not yield anything fruitful as compared to the expectations. I tell you, Nigerians had high hopes for INEC for 2019. Both for themselves and INEC. But as we can see, there's been a big disparity it's a big departure from the people who registered and collected their PVCs and those who finally showed up to vote. Look at states like Rivers, Akwa Ibom, even Lagos, as metropolitan as Lagos is, with all of the noise that we heard all over the place that Nigerians were coming alive and we were coming out to vote, it all went to rubbish.
That one is beyond the purview of INEC. You know, when you're talking about election, a lot of factors come into it. INEC could be said to be the lead agency, but they are not in charge of ancillary matters. You have the issue of security.